hour of sleep, but that's okay.
Why do we do that?
That's why you have Crane and Company.
Why is that a thing?
It's a legitimate. I asked one of our beautiful support staff here at the Daily Wire.
Jeff?
I was going to say Trey, but what if like nobody knew there wasn't a daylight savings time? Would I feel more tired this morning?
I felt it last night looking at the sun.
But you
wait, it's 6:30. Oh yeah.
David, you got to stop staring.
Yeah, quit staring at the sun.
You got to stop staring at the sun.
Staring at the sun. I see the light outside.
Okay.
By now.
Well, when you said when I was looking at the
sun, I thought you didn't say I was looking at sunlight.
Yeah. You didn't say I stared outside. You just said I just stared into the sun.
Okay, look, I have a weird hobby. Stare at the sun.
I'm sure that's good for you. It helps the vitamin D in your eyes.
I'm healthy.
The Patriots are set to trade Mac Jones to the Jaguars. Ruseell Wilson signs a 1-year deal with the Steelers, and the Broncos have to pay for it. And 6 players get ejected from the Women's SEC Championship.
Yeah.
That'll get them to watch. I'm Jay Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Trevor Lawrence has been given the keys since he was drafted by the Jaguars in day one, and there hasn't really been anybody that has pushed him for the job or been a credible threat to dethrone him as QB1. No offense to C.J. Beathard, but let's just be honest. And while Trevor has had some moments and shown more flashes than drunk girls at a Mardi Gras parade, bringing in a guy like Mac Jones could be the best recipe to get the best version of Trevor Lawrence to finally show up. Now, I'm not saying that Mac Jones is some elite piece that got signed to take the job from Trevor, but he's just good enough to actually be a threat and is a viable option to take over for the former Clemson quarterback if he gets hurt or if it doesn't work out. Now, Trevor does work his ass off. Nobody's doubting that, and he does things the right way on and off the field. But iron does sharpen iron. True competition breeds elite culture and can be either the tipping or a turning point for Lawrence at this point in his career. Now, Mac is almost the perfect guy to bring in because he's in between terrible and great. The best version of mid to jumpstart Trevor into hopefully taking the next evolution into becoming great. And if you're a Patriots fan, this opens the door up even more to go get Jaden Daniels and puts to bed whether the Pats are going to rebuild or just try and hang on. So this trade really is a true win-win for everybody involved. Somebody that's always a win-win for everybody involved. My co-host, former Michigan quarterback, sun starer, David Cohn, and my brother.
Hello.
It's a win all in his own special way.
Yep. You get that cheese, Danny.
You get that cheese, Danny. Former Western State Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crane. A lot of quarterback movement, David. We're going to get in the other stuff. Yep. But I do like this move by the Jaguars because to me, at the end of the day, you have a guy that if Trevor gets hurt, we saw him miss, I think, the first game of his career last year. I think it was week 16, week 17. Can't remember exactly. But I think Mac will push him enough to where, hey, you can't get comfortable. You can't just rest on your laurels. You have to start making that next step or taking that next step into becoming the guy that we drafted you to be.
Well, I think this almost certainly means the Patriots will go quarterback at 3. They have the 3rd draft pick this year. I don't think you trade Mac Jones and then go and trade for some other veteran around the league at this point. So I think the Patriots are in a very similar situation to the Bears, to be honest, where it's justifiable to make a draft pick now at quarterback with this deep of a class, but just going and drafting a guy is not going to solve all your problems. They have a lot of issues to worry about. On Mac Jones specifically, we have a large enough sample size now after 3 seasons to understand this isn't a surprise. He did throw for 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, and had a 67% completion percentage as a rookie.
Came on the scene
but then
hot.
Regressed in all of those passing categories over the past 2 seasons. This past year, 2,100 yards, 64% completion percentage through 10 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Obviously, he was getting benched and splitting time, but keep in mind, it's been a offensive coordinator carousel for him, even at one point having Matt Patricia as his OC. Things were a disaster in New England. He's going to go back home to Jacksonville now. I think this, even more than pushing Trevor Lawrence for the starting job, he'll serve as a legitimate backup who can step in if something happens to Trevor Lawrence. And if nothing does, he'll still get a valuable year under Doug Peterson. I mean, think about, we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield later. Look what Baker Mayfield was able to do just having 1 year with Sean McVay in L.A. He's going to be able to be coached by a great offensive mind in Doug Peterson, and who knows, maybe in the years to come can showcase, hey, I'm still a legitimate starter and move on to a better situation.
Well, and also I think sometimes people forget, yes, Matt Patricia went from defensive coordinator to offensive coordinator, but Joe Judge went from special teams coordinator to quarterbacks coach. So you had all type of craziness going on with the Patriots. Blaine, I want to shift gears a little bit here. Obviously, what you think about Matt going to Jacksonville. But if you're the Patriots with that number 3 pick, right, you feel like Jaden Daniels is going to be there. You feel like Drake May can be there. To me, the more I watch Jaden Daniels, and we've talked about his need to become a smarter runner from a health standpoint, the more I am seeing a more explosive Jordan Love. But like the more I go back and watch the tape, I think there's some similarities there. The difference being, while Jordan is really athletic with his running ability, Jaden Daniels is a legitimate long-range threat when he takes off, even in the NFL.
Well, I do think when it comes to Patriots, you get rid of Mac Jones. It's obviously Mac Jones is going to be a backup in the NFL. That's what Mac Jones is. You have one of the most cap space in the NFL, which is good if you are the Patriots, because you are obviously rebuilding this football team. You signed Kendrick Bourne to a 3-year deal when your key receivers from last year. I don't think you can go wrong with either getting Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels.
So trading up to go to 1?
Well, no, if Caleb's somewhat reason. I'm saying the 3 guys, right? The 3 guys that are top 1 in the 3 is Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Drake May.
You think Drake's hadn't fallen?
No. I've watched Drake enough. I've seen Drake enough throw the football on the football field. The kid has an absolute hose. His gaming sense is through the roof. I mean, the kid has the unteachable tangible in the pocket, the way he moves, the way he feels. Drake May is a top 3 quarterback in this league. If you're the Patriots, you can't go wrong with choosing either 3 of these guys.
Yeah, I'm seeing some places put J.J. McCarthy at 3 and have Drake May move.
That's what we like to call a reach. That's what that is.
And y'all are seeing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just crazy or seeing a lot of pro-Michigan bias. Like, this stuff's
he's
everywhere.
Hansel at the Male Model Awards right now. It's so hot right now, Hansel. We want to know what you think. Going to get to the Booster Club here in 1 second, but first, we got the draft coming up. All right, we're going to get into best and worst. I'm just absolutely smothered, covered, and every other Waffle House hash brown sense in college basketball right now as conference tourney week is here. Major League Baseball's heating up. The NHL's about to be in the playoffs. It's everything. We got the UFL coming down the pipe. And we know if you bet on sports like us, you want a reliable place. You want a place you can go to that you can call home. Hey, maybe the Booster Club's there. Well, surprise, they are. And that place, it's betonline.ag. They've got fantastic deals, sign-up bonuses, which I'm going to get to in a second. They have the largest offering of betting odds in the world. You can virtually bet on anything. If it's getting played, if it's darts in Guatemala, they probably have a line on it. We saw LeBron scores 40,000 points. They had that as a bet on there, what quarter, all that stuff. And any player who scores 82-plus points during the 2023-2024 regular season, they have all type of odds on that as well. It is the best online sports betting platform, and they pride themselves on their higher-than-average betting limits of up to $25,000. So go to betonline.ag. There's no .com. There's no .gov. Nobody's going to be watching you. It's betonline.ag to place your bets today. And when you use promo code BOOSTER, you get a 50% instant deposit bonus of up to $1,000. So you don't have to be Robert Oppenheimer to figure out if you bet $1,000. They give you $500 to bet as well. That's betonline.ag. Use promo code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER. Bet online. The options are endless. And if you're going to bet, you need to betonline.ag. All right. Also, we're going to put our link for merch in there. Helps out the show when you buy it. We got great hoodies, candles, all type of stuff. Got this wonderful, illustrious, delicious Flamin' Dragon candle. It smells like cinnamon and friendship. But all right, let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, Booster Club, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, chat, and get some questions in. It will answer. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. If it's not, it'll get read at the end of the show. We're going to start it off with GT, what is up? He says, what do you guys think of J.J. McCarthy maybe going to Denver or Seattle?
Well, look, we can talk about fit is one thing, but it's where you're drafting him is what I'm looking at. I feel like, and again, I feel, we've talked about this 1,000 times. Every year in the NFL draft, there's a quarterback that they look at and they elevate before I think he's ready or we think he's ready. Not saying that J.J. McCarthy is not going to be a good player, but why would you not go get Bo Nix, which to me is the ultimate evolution of J.J. McCarthy. I think they're very similar players. I feel like J.J.'s a year, 2 years away. He needs to go in and sit. Kind of the Jordan Love treatment would be perfect for J.J. McCarthy. He has the tools. He's athletic. I think he's got that dog in him. His arm strength is improved. That was the part that I thought he was the best at, his arm strength from an improvement standpoint, going from his sophomore to junior year. I just developmentally, from a consistency standpoint, not that he can't develop as a nuanced passer, I just think he's a little bit of a ways away.
Yeah, and keep in mind, some of these huge names we're talking about that are coming out this year who we're saying are going to have a lot of success, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, who we just talked about, they all have twice as much college experience as J.J. McCarthy. He's only a 3-year guy. So, look, the development's going to come, but he would be so much better served to go to a franchise that already has a guy who can go in and start. Seattle, who he brought up in the question, is a perfect place because he can sit behind Geno and learn. I still think the Vikings is a really good pick. If you start to look at a situation like Denver now, like you mentioned, or one of these other teams like the Patriots, he's going to have to go in and start right away. I think JJ can still put on weight. I think JJ can still improve on his accuracy. There's a lot of things where if you go sit behind someone like Geno Smith for a season or two, you could be the Seattle Seahawks franchise quarterback in a couple years.
Yeah, it's a timeline thing. Like to me, that's the most important.
Let's go to Adam Robinson, #AskCNC. If the reports are true about Russell Wilson going to the Steelers, will he be able to succeed there?
We're going to get to that in 1 second. I want to do a few more Booster Club questions. Remember, phone lines open 7:15 a.m. Central, 1-855-236-3228. We want to hear from you. Adam, we're going to answer in a second.
Let's go to Tommy Guns. Tommy, what is up? Is Jones a bust? Doesn't a player have to be good at one point to then be considered a bust?
Well, if you look, I think it's where he got drafted. I mean, honestly, you look at that whole class that he came out with, outside of, I believe, Trevor Lawrence, maybe I'm wrong here, that whole class has kind of fallen apart from the standpoint of what we thought they were going to be when Matt came out. Had that big-time first year. I think some of his problems have been brought on by himself, but you look at when he went to the Patriots and kind of the diminishing of that franchise after Tom Brady left. Look, you had to replace Tom Brady. Okay, that's tough in itself. But where he got drafted, I want to give it a couple more years, but you're going to Jacksonville to be the backup. I mean, it's smelling like bust. Little Buster Posey smelling in here.
All right, let's go to Justin Alfriere with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Justin. What do y'all think if the Vikings trade for Wilson and draft JJ?
Well, it's looking like Russell Wilson's going to the Steelers right now, which, like I said, we're going to get to in a minute. The question for the Vikings is, are they going to send Kirk Cousins to Atlanta and then try and get a guy for the future? That's the question I'm looking at. If you're a Falcons fan, look, I haven't been one of these people that bashes Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He hadn't really showed you what he can do in the postseason. But if I'm Falcons fans, I would rather have Justin Fields, as crazy as some people will take that. Kirk Cousins, how many years does he have left? If you could get Kirk Cousins and then bring in a young guy behind him to be able to sit and wait, kind of we talked about with JJ, that would be better, but I don't see that happening.
All right, let's go to Chris. Chris, what is up? He says, can the Jets get Brock Bowers at 10? I feel good, but not great.
Man, I saw one mock draft that had Brock Bowers falling all the way to the Dolphins at 21.
See,
the Dolphins at 20.
No way.
With those offensive pieces, they are.
I just think, and look, there's some spots, obviously, the Jets need some help in, offensive line being one of them. But just the thought of Aaron Rodgers with Brock Bowers and the things they could do with his versatility and Aaron Rodgers' everything. Mm-hmm. God, there's something about that. It's kind of like, just like Jack and Coke or just just, I don't know, it's a good combination, like ice cream and cake. Like it just, something about that just feels right.
I've been looking at the Chargers too. I mean, the Chargers have the 5th pick, right? So they could take Brock Bowers there because I think this guy has top 5 talent. But also the Chargers could possibly move back a little bit, get some extra pieces, and still draft Brock Bowers in the 10 to 15 range somewhere.
If Brock Bowers falls back to 20-something, you might as well just walk into a bank with a gun. Like you're trying to rob. Somebody's getting robbed.
I was got Troy Manser with a $10 donation. Appreciate it. Troy says, guys, give me your honest opinion of where you think Justin Fields is going to end up.
I still think he stays in Chicago.
Smells like Atlanta to me for some reason.
Well, you think it's smoke and mirrors with this Kirk Cousins?
It's always smoke and mirrors.
That is true. It's 4D chess. Man, I just feel like he sticks with the Bears. Like, I don't know. I typically go off instinct in most situations. I would just worry so badly if I was the Bears, who have not... Look, I like DJ Moore. He's a great piece, right? Darnell Mooney got hurt. I like Darnell Mooney. I like Cole Kmet. Outside of that, you really haven't got much. It's so hard to judge a quarterback when he hadn't had a ton of weapons around him. And a guy like Justin Fields, he's not going to be Drew Brees. He's not going to be Dan Marino, but he doesn't have to be. He brings a totally different element to the game. I think if you surround him with talent, right, just like every quarterback needs in the NFL, he could really blossom. I would just worry if I was the Bears. If I ended up making this move, right, and traded him and this, that, or the other, and he goes and balls out, and you don't even have to miss on your next quarterback move. If he's not elite, you're going to look like an idiot. Like, I don't know. I feel like he stays with the Bears. That's what I would do. I always say, what would I do? I would keep Justin Fields for the Bears.
I was going to M. Steiner 11. Mr. Steiner, what is up? Mr. Says, will the Bears ever win a championship in my lifetime? Break it to me.
How old are you?
Yeah, that's the question.
I need to know how old you are. Because if you're 75, man, I'd just start looking at old pictures. I'd start looking at 85. I would just, next season, I would just play games from 1985 on the TV during when the Bears were actually playing. Like, week 1, who we got? Oh, there's Mike Dick on the sidelines. That's what I would do.
I did see that the Bears are making an effort to stay in Chicago now and build a new stadium south of Soldier Field.
Yeah, well, I hope
if the Bears leave Chicago,
hope it's got metal detectors.
The whole world's upside down.
Let's go to Sergeant Rick. Sergeant Rick, what is up? He says, where do you think Saquon Barkley ends up after free agency?
This is a very, very interesting question. I'm looking at the team. What team would need him the most that could afford him? Does he go to the Patriots? Do the Patriots go get Saquon? What do you think?
I think he ends up with the Bears.
You put Saquon with Justin Fields? Scary.
You just signed Kevin Byard, the safety, to a 2-year deal, which is who's a phenomenal player. If anything,
you got the number 1 pick.
If anything, what you're going to do, in my opinion, if you're going to go Caleb Williams, that's fine. I'm not going to be upset at you for that. But regardless, you have to somewhat establish a run game, right, if you're going to keep Justin Fields. It's kind of the same thing they did with Lamar Jackson a couple of years ago. You go back and look at Lamar's stats a couple of years ago, they're worse than Justin Fields was almost this year, right? Because he didn't run the ball as well. You have to run the ball with a guy like Justin Fields.
Justin Fields can't be your run game. He can't.
It's too predictable.
Yeah, he needs to be the icing on the cake, not the actual breading of the cake.
But, like we've seen in the modern day NFL, not like when we were growing up, but the new age NFL, to have an elite run game, you don't necessarily need to go out and get the best running back. You need to invest more on the offensive line. I mean, I just
100%.
keep looking at...
That's what Ravens. I mean, that's what Ravens did.
Yeah. And the Chiefs, too. I keep looking. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco is looking more and more like he is one of these elite running backs. But, again, the Chiefs just do it a different way, and now they're back-to-back Super Bowl champs.
It's not just about having... You don't have to have the best player at every position. You want that. But sometimes you just need to be good enough at certain spots. Like if you're on the Warriors, you don't have to shoot like Steph Curry. You just need to be able to be enough of a threat where they can't double team him the whole time or triple team. That's the key. All right, we're going to get back to some NFL news. But first, it's Monday, so we got our best and worst of the weekend. David, how about you start us off with a little bit of your best?
All right, my best of the weekend. Let's go the entire UFC 299 experience.
Worked out.
Man, great card, awesome night. Sugar Sean did avenge his loss to Vera. It was a 5-round decision. unanimous decision, but Dustin Poirier came through.
The diamond, baby. The diamond's back.
But I tell you,
second round, and you were able to get him at plus money.
I know.
You were saying.
You called it. You're fighting a Frenchman. Listen, the French do food really well. They do fashion really well. But let's be honest, they don't fight good, right? Napoleon had a nice run, right? He went and flipped that like I'm going to do Kent State on the new NCAA football video game. But there's just something about watching Dustin Poirier fight a Frenchman that just really made me believe in Dustin Poirier. Kind of gave him a little bit of up-tempo offense. Last time somebody showed France an up-tempo offense, they took over the country in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, they hadn't seen that. Michael Page, big win. Peter Yan had a big win, too. My buddy Chris went 8 for 8 on his picks, and I'm still kicking myself for not putting together an 8-leg parlay with his picks that he sent me.
Who is this man, Chris? Does Chris end in a T?
No, look, I just should have put together an 8-game parlay or an 8-leg parlay on this fight. Either way, we'll get that next time. From UFC 299, though, can we bring up Joe Burrow? We had Joe Burrow, Nick Bosa on site with President Trump. Play this.
Why does Joe Burrow's got those Matrix glasses on? Like that?
This just looks like the two presidents at Bama and Tuscaloosa are meeting with the dean.
I know, yeah.
Right? Literally.
You talking about Georgia and Bama?
Let's talk about our New Balance deal.
Yeah. Speaking of that, rumor has it Auburn could be getting Nike.
Wow.
Please don't get me
Wow,
so
this
excited.
is great, man.
But Joe, I'm ready for Joe Burrow to get back.
I'm glad to see.
Come on back, Joey B.
I'm glad to see the next cover athlete of the NCAA.
I don't know why you're trying to. I don't know why you're trying to.
Why not?
I'd be down with that.
I told you the best.
Does this ruin that for him?
The best.
Does this ruin that chance being seen with President Trump?
Probably. Yeah, probably is a high percentage.
They're going to put his evil twin, Bo Juro, on there. I told you the best cover that the new NCAA football game could have is a collage of all the other covers.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Like a commemoration or a welcome back. I think that would be fantastic. All right, my best, okay? And I've got a couple of best because I'm feeling optimistic, even though we lost an hour, and I'm Optimus Prime right now.
Yeah.
First, I want to talk about, it's college basketball tourney week, okay? Conference tournament week. Now we have the SEC tournament coming up. We got the ACC tournament. We got the Big East, all these fantastic tournaments. But I tell you what I love, boys. I love watching Boston University play Lehigh. I like East Tennessee State versus Chattanooga. Drake versus Indiana State yesterday, and Indiana State better get in that large bid. They really deserve one. The Sycamores, they got Dmitry Petrovich, a.k.a. the Avila guy out there playing. But the Drake-Indiana State game was fantastic. I love this time of year. I know there's no football, quote unquote, even though, the season really never ends. But it is so much fun watching these tickets get punched. And guys, there's been a ton of 1 seeds in these conference tournaments already lose. Like look across the board, which tells me it's the same thing we've been smelling all year. This tournament's about to be nuts, but what a fantastic time of year. I'm going to watch it again tonight. Shout out Bucky McMillan and the guys over at Sanford. Got a big one tonight. They're playing Buckyball. Hey, let's finish. They got East Tennessee State, who came back, had a hell of a win against Chattanooga in overtime after being down. I think they were down 13 with like 6 minutes to go, something nuts like that. But
wow,
God, man, I love this time of year. I love it so much.
It's great. I'm proud of you. Mine's going to be the Georgia baseball team. The Georgia baseball team that hit 6 grand slams with 5 different players.
6 grand.
And they've hit a grand slam in like 6 straight games, too.
Yeah, 6 grand slams by 5 different players. These kids are launching.
Wow.
Well, Charlie
launching the baseball. And remember, kids, if you're growing up, you're in middle school, you're in high school, hell, rec league, even in T-ball. All right, if a baseball coach ever looks at you, says, hey, hit down on the ball, say, no, I quit, and go play for somebody else, because we hit home runs around here.
Yeah, Charlie Condon, he hit a ball. He's basically playing with aluminum bat on backyard baseball. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I mean. He hit one. He's about to play himself in the #1 overall pick. He hit one yesterday that just disappeared. Like, it just disappeared, just gone. Like, just hit it, just gone. Just straight through Diagon Alley. Just see you later. But I do want to say, before we get to worst, I got one more best. Bring up the Bruce Buffer thing. If you guys have ever heard of Cameo, it's where you can pay celebrities to basically make a short video saying what you want them to say up to a certain point. So some genius, some prodigy, probably Robert Oppenheimer's grandson, decided to use Bruce Buffer to break up with his girlfriend. Play this.
No
this
way.
Is magic. This is absolute magic. Play it.
It's time for Kaylee to move on.
No.
Shia LaBeouf clap.
No way.
Shia LaBeouf clap.
That's pretty good.
And you can tell Bruce Buffer is absolutely geeking out being able to say that. I wonder how much that costs. If I would almost cameo Bruce Buffer every day when I wake up in the morning. Just not, look, I hop out of the bed like I'm possessed already, but if Bruce Buffer would give me personal shout-outs after saying it's time in the morning, I don't care if it's spring forward, fall back, meet me in the middle, whatever, I'm ready to go. I'm running to work. I am the car.
Wow.
It's great stuff there.
Good find right there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was right before the show when I found that, too. So that was the last minute. Hey, Drew went up in the dirt.
All right, worst of the weekend. I'm going to go with Kansas basketball. 76-46 loss to Houston this weekend. I think it was the first time they've never scored more than 50 points.
They'll move up. They'll move up in the polls.
Hunter Dickinson left with 11 minutes remaining, holding his right shoulder. Sounds like they popped it back into place or something, but not good luck for Kansas this weekend.
Well, I'm sure Joe Lunardi moved him up 3 spots. It's amazing. Kansas can go 10-8. And I know the Big 12 is a great conference. Nobody's arguing that, but the SEC is a great conference. I don't see a 10-8 team, as a top 12 seed. There is, look, we hear about bias all the time in college football. And I think sometimes it's warranted. I agree with it that there is bias. But there is so much bias in college basketball. Some of these teams, they can just lose and don't move. Wisconsin lose 12 games in a row. They'll still make the tournament. I wonder, and I think a little bit of it is animus towards the SEC in college basketball, if we're going to be honest. Because of what they do in college football, it just never ceases. And Kansas is an incredible program, true blue blood. I mean, we went and watched them play in the Final Four a couple years ago. Bill Self is an incredible coach, but you can do no wrong at Kansas. Hey, you have 35 level 1 violations. Bill, you just can't eat lunch for 2 days. Oh, you went 10-8, possible 1 seed still, possible 1. It's just, I don't know. I don't think Kansas is going to go very far. I like Furphy, the Australian. Obviously, they've got experienced guys. I feel like, McCullers, and I know he was a transfer, and they got a couple other guys. Feels like they've been there for 30 years. It just never ceases to amaze me.
Well, at least when they do it in basketball, there's 68 spots to get, so you can still make the tournament and have a chance.
That's true, but they're like 2 seed.
Rather than football, where there's 4 spots, and they give Alabama a spot over an undefeated Florida State.
Yeah, again, there's problems in most of them, but hey, now it's 12 teams, David. So it's kind of they're kind of taking your theory here.
We'll see.
Yeah.
There's going to be, 14 teams? We're already arguing about 14 teams.
Oh, David, you didn't hear?
We're already arguing about automatic.
It's 18.
We hadn't even played a single season of the 12 teams.
This is crazy because as you've been speaking, they've moved it to 27 teams.
I heard
an odd number.
You were speaking, college football got canceled.
Hold on 1 second, David. Breaking news.
Everyone has
There's been 40 teams to be in the college football playoff.
They just keep doing the math on the calculator. They're like, wait,
there's more numbers.
There's more numbers.
Yeah. But they're really doing 8008.
Yeah, what?
I did in middle school. My worst, got a couple of them here, but first I'm going to get, I don't know if you saw this. Can we pull up this Drake video real quick? Over the weekend, Drake had a concert, and you might think this is a dog. It is not. That is a person inside of that fake dog.
What?
Drake is petting a dude inside of a dog costume. What is going on?
Yeah. Oh my God. See, that's creepy.
Who is this guy?
Is that Martin Short?
Who is this guy? First of all, he has to lose at least 20 pounds of sweating being up there. But how do you get this job? Where do you apply for this job? Drake's dog.
We saw this, I think, in Japan. That millionaire who bought the dog suit was walking around rolling when they told him to roll. You remember that?
Yeah.
My question is this one of those things? Because I'm a firm believer, and sometimes you just get so rich that you just get bored. Mm-hmm. And you start, is this just, because I don't think anybody went to that concert and was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the next one because that fake dog was there. I just don't
know if I'll ever get
the
rich
benefit
to where I'm petting a grown man inside of a dog costume.
I can understand
like volunteer.
Like Bezos, they're trying to go to which scares me. All the billionaires trying to leave the planet. I can understand if a boy from Virgin Mobile wants to go, stick his finger in the moon. Okay, I can understand that. You're a gazillionaire. I get it. He's giving away free cruises on flights. I'm just wondering at some point, like, whose idea was that? Were they just like drunk one night and Drake was like, hey man, I wonder how much it would cost to get Rodney in that dog costume the next.
That's where you need some real friends.
Right?
Not just like yes men beside you to
I
say,
don't think we should do this.
Drake, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
If you do that, people will clown you.
Yeah.
Well,
Drake, that's a furry. Ha! Gay.
Hey, well, but no, again though, like, why would you not be like, look, why don't we take that $6,000? Why don't we just go put it on black, man? On roulette. Let's just go put it on black. Or let's go.
$6K a month?
Huh?
You think that dogs get paid $6K?
I think he probably got. I wonder how much he got paid for doing that. I'm talking about just then.
Probably
you think 6,000 is anything to Drake?
No.
6,000, that's laughable.
It is to that man in that dog costume.
Are we sure this wasn't?
He just pulled a revenant and just instead of a horse, he got in a dog.
Are we sure that this isn't some sort of like Make-A-Wish situation where that was like that guy's dying wish and he wanted to do that?
Look, if that's your dying wish,
I don't need this coming back on
David,
that.
No.
If that kid's dying wish, I'm still going to make fun of
you. This is where you need great friends. If you're the person that was making that wish, they'd be like, Rodney, like, you can do anything with this last wish, and you want to get inside a dog at a Drake concert? That's when you need better friends.
I love that we've named him Rodney.
He looks like a Rodney to me.
And quick, this is my worst. Akira Toriyama died over the weekend. He was the
Dragon Ball Z?
maker of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever a Dragon Ball Z kid growing up, but a lot of my friends are. I do like certain anime, so that sucks. The guy was an absolute trailblazer.
Yeah, genius. All right, my worst. This SEC Women's Championship game.
Tell us all about this.
So South Carolina and LSU, and this is about as high level as you're going to get in women's basketball. South Carolina's undefeated. They've got a big rivalry with LSU. Who's had a ton of success since hiring Kim Mulkey. This game was chippy the whole way. The refs did not take control of this game early, and it basically turned into not a brawl, but you had an intentional foul. Then you had a giant woman from South Carolina run over a smaller woman from LSU. And then the LSU player's brother ran onto the court and police had to grab him and move him. Everybody on each bench got ejected. The last 2 minutes of this game was played 5-on-5 because that's all they had
And
left.
no one fouled out?
Nobody fouled out. I would have gone after whoever had 4 fouls, but I want to play this clip. This is just bananas. Let's go ahead and run it.
Again.
You're going to see, you're going to steal it midcourt. She grabs her, intentional foul. All right. She's going to shove right there. And then, boom. Giant lady. And you can see her brother jump over the score table right there. Just, it's chaos. Like I said, you get the push. Then you get the humongous woman knocking over the smaller woman. A lot of people at fault here. Blaine, I already know you're applauding this. You want this. We would not be talking about this game most likely if
we did not happen. This game would have zero mention on this. That didn't happen.
I do want to say, look, first off, don't run on the court. Unless you're stopping like a terrorist attack or something, like stay off the court. I know it's your sister, but it's two girls. It's
walking together.
When you look at Dawn Staley's reaction, I thought this was, I don't agree with a lot of stuff Dawn Staley says. I thought Dawn Staley was so classy in the way she handled this. She apologized to the basketball community, said this isn't how we go about it. And it wasn't just her players that were in the wrong. I think the push, obviously, after somebody got in her face, that shouldn't have happened. It wasn't a great reaction by Cardoza. Now, first, and this is a very important point, ESPN had said that every player that got suspended could not play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, right? Or that got ejected. That is not true. Pistol Pete Nakos from On 3 corrected him and said only the player that got ejected for fighting. So Cardoso can't play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, which South Carolina is going to play some, small girls' school from Nevada and probably beat them by 100 anyway. They don't need her. But if that would have happened, can you imagine having to play a full game with just 5 players, even as talented as LSU and South Carolina is? So that was just a crazy circumstance.
So they had to end the game 5-on-5, no players on the bench.
No players.
And if a player had fouled out from the 5-on-5,
I think you're allowed to finish with 4.
Okay.
I think once it goes to 3, then you have to forfeit.
I saw Kim Mulkey said she wished that player had done that to Angel Reese.
Yeah, which, you know what? That's, to me, I think that's something that you may say to your own radio person in the interview. I love the way Kim Mulkey handles her business, right? She's had a lot of success. She's intense. She was a hell of a player. Just what does that help? Like, this does nothing but pretty much all the favorites are going to make it to the Final Four in women's basketball. That's how it works. There's not a lot of parity at the end. You'll have some upsets early. I'm not saying upsets don't happen. But these two teams likely might see each other again.
Is South Carolina unbeatable?
I don't think they're unbeatable. They should have lost to Tennessee. Tennessee would have just guarded the girl at the end of that.
That's so tough. So tough. You go back, she's made 0 threes.
Still, though, you got to guard her. You don't leave somebody wide open. Like, these are Division I basketball players. At least let's have somebody close. I get if you want to shade somebody. Yeah. Hell, I'd run 2-man. I love it, right? But that was a borderline coaching malpractice, in my opinion. I hope they play again because I love that intensity, right? The Iowa-Ohio State game was fantastic as well with Caitlin Clark and then pulling it out in the end. I tell you, man, high-level women's college basketball, it's very entertaining outside.
When they fight each other.
That, it doesn't hurt. I'll watch. So it is what it is. All right, so we want to know what you think. The phone lines are about to open up, 1-855-236-3228. But I'm sure South Carolina, I'm sure Kim Mulkey, Dawn Staley, they kind of want to delete what happened there and just move on, get ready for the NCAA tournament. Well, it's hard to move on. And when you try to delete your digital footprint, you didn't even know it was out there. All right, I know that was a fantastic segue. I appreciate you guys. But in all honesty, Google yourself just one time. You would be absolutely amazed at how much of your information is out there. And not just any information, very, very important information. Social security numbers, addresses. Hell, I saw every address that I lived at when I Googled my name. And until we got Delete Me, thank goodness. And if you ever wonder how much your personal data is out there on the internet for anyone to see, you don't have to have a show. You don't have to be the biggest realtor in your town. Hell, you can work anywhere and your stuff can be out there because these data brokers, they get your information, then they sell it for money, and it's a very lucrative business, unfortunately. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. What is Delete Me? It's a hands-free subscription service that removes your personal info from being sold online. You'll get a detailed report in 7 days. They'll remove your personal info every 3 months. And now you can get a special discount for our listeners. Today you can get 20% off off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Crane. I'm going to say that again. That's joindeleteme.com/CRAIN. And then use the same promo code, CRAIN. Our last name isn't spelled like that stupid bird. To get 20% off, go to joindeleteme.com/Crane. Enter code Crane at checkout. joindeleteme.com/Crane with promo code Crane. I choked on my own tongue.
You did. You going to make it?
I am going to make it, right? I believe in myself, and I believe in you, and I believe in the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to George. George, what is up? Says, will Crane & Co. be in the next Blue Mountain State reboot?
Should
Jake,
be.
I'm looking at you.
Should be. If they're smart. They said the guy who played Thad Cat, Adam Richardson, isn't that his name? Something like that? He's going to be in it. Why should we not be in it? The question is, what role should we have? I want to be the new head coach. Coming in
Coach
hot. We're doing it. We're NIL-ing. All right. I'm giving the players some freedom to be dangerous, but also safe. Right as 2024. We got to be in it.
I don't mind that. Let's go to a $5 donation from Cuse Mode. Jimbo, what is up? Your friendly reminder that Drake curse directly prevented the Georgia Bulldogs from three-peating in the college football playoff.
See, there's two. That wasn't a bulldog, though. It's got to be specific. I mean, that looked more like a wolf. It's not going to be every dog. I'd be more worried that was closer looking to a husky than a bulldog. So if I'm UConn basketball right now, I'm a little nervy. I'm a little bit nervy.
Let's go to Parker. Parker, what's up? The absolute worst of the weekend was the last 1.1 seconds of the Tennessee-South Carolina women's game. Tennessee head coach Kelly Harper should be fired.
Can I ask you a question, but both you guys? And I want, not trying to be funny, not trying to be controversial. Do women head coaches kind of get a break compared to male head coaches? Like if
performance or
no, like that last 1.1 seconds where you just didn't guard the person that was wide open when you're up to shoot a three. Like if that would have happened with Rick Barnes and the Tennessee men's team, and Rick Barnes has had a ton of success, they would be grilling him. He would be getting drug all over the internet. If that would have happened to Nate Oates, or if that would have happened to John Shire, or if that would have happened to anybody else, they would be, not that there hasn't been backlash. There has been backlash, but you would be getting killed for that, dog.
So it was 100% a coaching scheme and not just
100%. 100%.
They literally...
You have to tell somebody, I mean, it's 5-on-5. Yeah. I mean, you're up 2. She's standing, David, not only was she standing wide open for 3, at the top of the key, one of the easiest shots in basketball from 3. Now, she banked it in. She didn't mean to do it, but you give a Division I basketball player a wide open look from 3, right? And again, like I said, I understand shading, but I don't know, like, a great experiment would have been if Gino Auriemma would have done that same thing. Would he have received more backlash than this female coach at Tennessee? I think sometimes we do that, man. I think it's just a natural thing. It's hard for me as a male to come on here and bash a female coach. It's hard for me to do that, like just instinctually. You say, oh, that's sexist or this, that, and the other. I just think it's part of it. I'm not used to being mean to women. It's hard to be like, what an idiot lady. I don't know. I feel like if a college football head coach would have left a wide receiver wide open on a Hail Mary, he would be getting... It's like that dude says on that cleft lip karate commercial, I was bullied mercilessly. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what would happen.
So to Jared Halley, you brought this up earlier. Did you guys catch the Drake ISU game? Absolute insane and a great way to kick off March.
Mm-hmm. Drake scares me. I do not want Auburn to play Drake. I just don't. They've got all the pieces. Coach's son's one of their best players.
Oh, boy.
Like, they got a white guy with the headband that knows how to do it, but they've got guys down low that can hang with other bigs. I want absolutely no part of Drake. But before we get to the phone calls, we do, David, we got some
a lot to get to.
Reactions, I know.
Lot to get to. We talked about the Broncos releasing Russell Wilson last week, the 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback. Now he is going to sign a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Wilson will sign for the veterans minimum, which is $1.2 million. The Broncos will cover the rest of the $37.8 million salary while he wears the black and yellow.
What a great move for the Steelers.
Yeah, I agree.
You wonder why you're like, how do the Steelers have a winning record every season? And Mike Tomlin deserves a lot of credit. I know Kenny Pickett hasn't worked out. All right, sometimes you miss on draft picks. Steelers don't miss a lot, if we're going to be honest. But you get Russell Wilson, who is an upgrade over Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph's now a free agent going in next season. But you have to pay him $1.2 million to go out there and just try and be better than Kenny Pickett, while the Broncos have to pay $37 million to Russell Wilson? In what other profession do you bring in a person and the other company still has to pay him while you barely pay him anything? Like, outside of the coaching world, I mean, you got all these buyouts of these coaches that'll go on and go on some corporate board or something like that, or go do motivational speeches at some sort of insurance conference and get paid for that. But it just a win-win for the Steelers. I mean, it's a great move. It's smart.
I love this move for the Steelers. How do you feel, Blaine?
I mean, it's not a bad move, but he's not your future. I know that. What are you going to touch on in the draft? I mean, right now you're sitting on the pick 20th. Do you try to make a move and go up and get a guy?
Well, do you
try to move up to that 11 or 12 spot to go get a Bo Nix or Michael Penix? Because obviously you don't believe in Kenny Pickett. Obviously you don't believe in any quarterback you have on that roster. You can't go wrong with choosing an offensive lineman, which you need at 20. But I do think I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers try to make a move in this draft and move up a little bit to get a quarterback.
I get what you're saying, because they're not paying Russell Wilson that much. That's the freedom the freedom that it gives you. But the way I'm looking at it is, yes, it shows a lack of confidence in Kenny Pickett. And there should be, if anything, for the health, right? He can't stay healthy. But I think this does give him, as Russell's career kind of not fades into the distance, but he's obviously in the twilight of his career. I still think there's a slight chance for Kenny Pickett to maybe turn it around. You're going to give him a couple years to turn it around. And then if that doesn't work, Russell's gone, you've saved up this money, then you go get the quarterback. I think you've got pieces on defense, obviously we know that. Offensively, you look at Pickens, right? You look at Freiermuth. who I like. The offensive line, this gives you the freedom to go get that offensive lineman and not have to move up and give all these picks and make all these moves to go get the quarterback. I think this is a 2 to 3 year plan. Mm-hmm. Either Russell Wilson can somehow have lightning strike and get the Steelers, he didn't have to be the best quarterback in the league, right? He just has to be good enough to let that defense eat and let them win as a team. I like everything about this move.
No, I do
really
too.
do.
And Kenny Pickett can sit behind Russell Wilson now.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Even as great as Patrick Mahomes is, he didn't have to come in and start as a rookie.
True.
We're talking about Jordan Love. Jordan Love got to sit behind Aaron.
Everybody's not C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud's the anomaly.
I know. That is an anomaly. But more and more of these guys are being asked to start as rookies because you're getting a break on the rookie contract. So either way, we'll see how this one plays out. Maybe it is a one-year thing, or maybe it's they can get a couple years out of him. Let's stay with the NFL quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield did finally get his new contract with the Tampa Bay Bucks. 3 years, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed. This comes after he threw for 4,000 yards this season, 28 touchdowns, and led the Bucks to the playoffs.
Did they overpay him, Blaine?
Every quarterback gets overpaid.
But you know what I mean.
No, Daniel Jones makes more money than him.
I'm happy for Baker. I'm interested to see how Bucks fans feel about this.
Gotta love it. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, what's the year? How many years?
3 years, $115 million, 50 guaranteed. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's $100 million. There's $5 million per year in incentives, so it can be up to $150.
Gotcha. So it's 3 years.
It's 50.
Look at you.
But it's
you
backloaded a little bit. So
I will always be a fan of rewarding guys for performance.
Here it is. So $30 million in 2024, $30 million with $20 million guaranteed in 2025. $40 million in 2026. And like I said, $5 million per year in incentives could bring the maximum up to $115.
Yeah, well, obviously what you did worked, right? You bring back Mike Evans, too, who had good rapport with Baker Mayfield. You paid him his money after it was looking like that he may be pushed down the river until he freaked out last year and had a big year. But I am all about merit. You show it to me on the field, and I'll reward you. We get too caught up, I think, sometimes in what he can be or what he won't be. What he is, Baker showed you he is a guy that can make the plays when he has to. They were competitive in the playoffs. I mean, they were, a little bit closer than what people thought when they got in.
Well, yeah.
You look at that division, I mean, stability. We talk about it in college football all the time. It's a smart move to me.
Well, kudos to Baker because it was a lot of fingers pointing at him and not a lot of fingers pointing with him. Mm-hmm. I saw Baker play through Oklahoma, through college. The kid's an absolute stud. I mean, he's a Heisman winner, shorter guy, can still sling it. And I knew when he was even at the Browns that this kid is a starting quarterback in the NFL. And you go back and look at his numbers, he was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL this year. He deserves his contract. You win the last 6 games of the season, I believe, and some of them were close. You beat the Eagles in the playoffs, and you go lose to a really hot Lions team, I believe, by a touchdown, and I don't believe that was your defense fault. It gave up 30-plus points. But I think Baker's the future in Tampa Bay.
Baker brought a lot of that finger-pointing on himself, I thought, when he came into the league. But this is life. You grow, you develop, you mature.
Yeah, it's part of it.
You're right. And when you do, good things happen. I don't think it's any coincidence that Baker Mayfield's playing his best football in the NFL as he grows and matures and develops. Now he's getting rewarded for it. I still wonder what's going on with Kyle Trask. I still wonder, can Kyle Trask, is he just going to be a backup in the NFL?
I mean, that's what it's looking like. He'd have to be a late bloomer. I mean, we've seen it before, but at this point, if Kyle Trask was the guy, he'd have been the guy, I think, even before Baker, that move was made to bring Baker there. I mean, now that, Baker's kind of solidified in, I mean, it's, it kind of is what it is. I hate it for Kyle. I mean, hell, him and Kyle Pitts. At some point, is somebody going to live up to this? Yeah. Now, there's a lot more hype for Kyle Pitts than was for Kyle Trask. I want to make sure I make that difference known. But no, I mean, at this point, again, you are who you are.
Good for Baker, man. All right, let's move on. The Chiefs and Chris Jones agreed to a 5-year deal, $160 million. This makes Chris Jones the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. This one really surprised me. I thought the Chiefs would move on from him. They re-sign him, and I think it really shows you how committed they are to the defensive side of the football.
Well, yeah, please, Chris Jones played for my football team. I mean, he's one of the few guys that can play inside, he can play outside, he can rush the passer, he can stop the run, regardless of zone, gap, whatever type of scheme it is. I think he's worth every penny. I think he changes the game.
Yeah.
And the way you have to attack this Chiefs defense. And, one of the most underrated parts of this game is he bats down more balls, and it seems like he does it in the most important moments. He makes big plays in big moments. I think he's worth every penny. I think he is the cog of this Chiefs defense. I think he is the most important player outside of Patrick Mahomes on this Chiefs team.
I would agree with that. Chris Jones, there's nothing more dangerous, in my opinion, that can change a game as quick as a defensive lineman. Not only a defensive lineman that can play outside, but you can move him anywhere on the defensive line. So it's hard to combo him wherever he goes. It's hard to chip him with a running back wherever he goes. Interior pressure in the NFL is almost the most important thing.
Straight line. Straight line to as close to the quarterback, straight line to the quarterback.
Important thing you can do. If you can fuzz up that inside running the ball, if you can push a quarterback off his spot with interior pressure, it's a lot harder for him to go through his reads. Chris Jones is worth every penny of this money.
Nobody is, to Blaine's point, nobody is happier about Chris Jones going back to the Chiefs than any of the defensive ends on the Chiefs. Because he literally funnels guys right to him.
Yep.
Your Karlaftis, these guys, I mean, hell, you ain't got to run the hoop. Just stay outside, he's coming.
He's a type of guy who can make everybody else right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly right.
Make everybody else right.
Which is hard as a D lineman. Typically, the linebacker's got to make you right.
And it was $95 million of that was guaranteed in that contract. All right, let's move on to Dalton Schultz here. Dalton Schultz had some words to say about, he compared the Houston Texans franchise to the Dallas Cowboys. Let's play this.
That was one of the first things that kind of stuck out to me is it feels like much more, I don't want to say college because it's not, but the focus is just football, you know what I mean? And going back and telling some people how kind of being around the Cowboys, practice facility and, game day, describing some of the interactions and stuff that you see on a day-to-day basis, surprised a lot of people. They're like, holy crap, that actually happens at a practice facility. And it's just, you think it's normal. And then you come to a place like this.
Like what? You don't have to out anything, but what are you?
No, dude, it's just there's people literally going on tours while you're lifting in the weight room. And they've got a one-way mirror for people to look at. It's literally, it's a zoo, dude. There's people tapping on the glass, trying to get people's attention as they're doing, power cleans or whatnot. And
is he throwing the Cowboys under the bus just because he's not there anymore, or is this just part of the Jerry Jones
I don't
culture?
feel like Dalton's that type of dude, though. That didn't come off to me as he went on that interview. Mm-hmm. Man, how can I bash the Cowboys? I think he was being genuine. Now, listen, we have to be able to make a distinction between the space that the Cowboys are operating in and then the space that the Texans are operating in, right? The Dallas Cowboys are, one of the biggest brands in the world. Not saying the Texans aren't important, but I think that's an advantage that Houston has over Dallas, is you don't have this hoopla that's not that people don't care about the Texans, but compared to the Cowboys, let's be honest. I mean, this is Walmart and a mom and pop compared to it. Now, could the Cowboys do things better? Could they insulate themselves better and still be a huge brand? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird that there's a one-way mirror there. If I'm lifting weights, I don't, outside of me, hopefully I never am, being interrogated by the police, I don't want there to be a one-way mirror anywhere.
No, I don't want you anywhere near me in a weight room. I don't want you talking to me. I don't want you hitting glass. If you're a child, we're in the weight room. I am here to lift weights. There's a mindset and a mentality I have to get in before I walk in that weight room. And usually an 8-year-old kid coming up and say, sign this, is not going to help a lot of things. Is anybody surprised by this? After what Dalton Schultz just said? I'm not. The Cowboys are a football team. They're also a TV show.
Yeah.
That's what they are. That's what Jerry Jones has built the Cowboys into. It's drama. It's an entertainment. That's what it is. You have Dak Prescott at quarterback. That is walking entertainment every day of our lives.
Dazzle, dazzle.
Houston Texans, D'Amico Ryans, keep your heads down, do all the right things, fall in line, be a leader. Jerry Jones, crybaby, nothing ever works. It's Dak's fault. No, it's Mike McCarthy's fault. Nope. Am I okay? Are you okay? It's not okay. It's the Cowboys. Dalton Schultz seems like a genuine dude to me. He wouldn't get up there and lie. First of all, the beard looks phenomenal. I'm jealous I had to shave it. But nobody's surprised by this. It's the Cowboys. They are a drama TV show.
Mm-hmm. All right, a couple more here. This is the thing I was most excited to talk to you guys about today. I can't wait to hear your reaction to this. So Mo Hassan was a backup quarterback for Vanderbilt in 2018 and 2019. He made the claim that the Italian mob approached him at a bar, Jason Aldean's bar here in Nashville, and offered him $300,000 to fix college football games, and makes the claim that every SEC football game is rigged. Can we play this clip?
I was approached at Jason Aldean's bar in Nashville by the Italian mob.
What?
To fix football games.
I'm gonna be honest, this sounds like a story
like
that
the mafia?
I do not need to be a part of.
I went to get drinks, and so I'm alone right now. I'm not with my friend group. He comes up to me.
Wait, he knew who you were?
Yes.
This is already a bad start.
He offered me $300,000.
He offered you $300,000?
All right.
He said, for something like this, my clients, $250 to $300K for a game.
The Italian mob offered you $300K to do
Can
what?
we stop saying that?
He said, we regularly talk to guys in your position about fixing games. He said he named guys in the SEC who I don't want to say their names because they're in the NFL right now, and that's a bad look.
deal?
It's a bad deal. But University of Alabama, I will tell you that.
Holy crap.
He said almost every game in the SEC is rigged.
Too much for me.
Okay. I'm not saying that the Italian mob hasn't approached high-level college quarterbacks or starting college quarterbacks in general about fixing games. I'm just saying they hadn't approached that guy.
They don't have to walk up to that guy to fix games. They're going to lose anyways.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all going to lose anyway.
Look, that's the most predictable game on the board.
If it's me, I'm taking the money. I don't have to do anything.
You're a walk-on quarterback that threw, 17? What are you going to do? Hit the quarterback in the leg, the starting quarterback in the leg?
Career pass. Look, I'm not hating on backup quarterbacks. I was one. I'm not even hating on Vanderbilt. We don't need to fix the Vanderbilt game.
No. You are lying.
They fixed themselves.
They fixed themselves. So do you call cap on the whole situation?
The whole situation. That seems like a setup to me. Here's the thing. You decided to make some stuff up and go on a podcast and just root. Look, number one, you want to know the stupidest part about it? Italian Mob has no idea who that cat is, I promise you. But guess what?
They do now.
They do now, buddy.
They do now.
You just put yourself in harm's way for nothing. For 10 minutes. So we can talk about this for 3 minutes before we take phone calls? But I do want to make this done. Do you know how hard Alabama's rigging football games? Well, holy hell. They won a lot of them.
Yeah, what game they rigged?
What do y'all, when y'all are minus 850 to win the game? You rigged that one? This is so much, and I'll just say it for the kids that are listening to the show, please parents close their ears. That's bullshit. That did not happen. Number one, if you've ever been in Jason Aldean's bar, you don't have room. There's too many people around there for you to be like, hey, I need you to fix the Vanderbilt game. Yeah. There's
not a level of it.
This is the worst. I don't know what show that is, but I can just tell the reactions that was set up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not this story. 300, first off, if you're going to fix games, buddy, it needs to be a cool meal.
You're a backup. What can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
For what can
this man thinks he's Adam Sandler from The Longest Yard.
For $250 without purposely injuring the starter. What can you do for that?
So it's like a Tanya Harding situation.
Yeah. Why would you give $250K to $300,000 to a guy to fix a game that doesn't
play? You know how hard it is to rig a football game and it not be blatantly obvious? If you've ever been involved in a football game, you know how many moving parts, you know how many people would have to really be in on it? And some people say, oh, it's a quarterback. You can tell if something is wrong, especially if there's a body of work before it. I'm just saying, that guy sucks. I'll say it. What's his name? Mo?
Mo?
I don't know.
He's about to have Mo problems.
Yeah. You set yourself up on a lie. You pissed off the mob for no reason. Like Heath Ledger, the Joker, he used to rob mob guys. They should be pissed off at him. You just pissed him off for no reason. Now the guys from the Jimmy John's commercial about to come get you. This is on Everybody Loves Raymond, which is a great show. Anyways, God, it's pissing.
Oh, hold on. I have one more reaction here. Quickly, I want your thoughts on this specifically. The new Major League Baseball obstruction rule. This is a clip from the Mets Nationals. Just as a baseball guy, how do you feel about not being allowed to block the base anymore and you get an extra base as a penalty. Play this.
Strikeout pitch ahead in the count.
Nice job by Wendell keeping that ball in front of him.
You know me.
Vargas.
I'm a baseball purist. I like running over the catcher.
I
don't want the bases to be bigger.
It's one of the new rules.
But you shouldn't be able to block a base. Like it's.
I believe the second baseman came in.
To me, I feel like this rule should have always been there. I think it's a good rule. You need to be able to get to the base. The throw either beats you there and the tag beats you there, or it doesn't. Okay. Like it shouldn't be because the first baseman can't stand in front of first and make you miss them.
Yeah.
So I don't mind this rule.
Okay. That's what I was wondering if that's what you were going to say, because we've seen those old school clips when we were growing up, and mostly at the plate, plays at the plate, being able to run over the catcher has the plate blocked. There is something to the base. Like if you can't get there, how can you?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Like if I can't run you over, then what am I supposed to do? You call me out for going out of the base pass.
So what you're saying is you're fine with the base being blocked as long as we can run the players over. Train wreck at second base.
Well, to me, when I think about running a player over, I don't just think about the catcher blocking home plate and then you're running him over. A lot of times that throw brings that catcher he's got to catch the ball. Like if that ball was thrown and the guy had to dive to catch it and y'all ran into each other, that's unfortunate. Make a better throw. But I don't know. I feel like especially first, second, and third, it's obvious. If you ever did want to make a change, it would be home plate. But a lot of times, that throw and where that catcher's having to set up while that throw moves him, it's tough.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think if you block a plate, you should be able to get your ass ran over. That's what I think. I don't care if it's home, first, second, third. A plate you just got out of the refrigerator.
Hey, you could even finish
how long
I don't care.
It would take for games to get done if Blaine was the commissioner of any sport. That South Carolina LSU fight would have gone on for 35 minutes. That game would have finished about an hour ago.
No, because he's moving it down to 3 innings. We're going to play 3 innings all out.
He just turned into slug
metal bats.
He just turned
5 innings. All right.
Can we get to calls?
First 2 innings, there's kangaroos with knives running around on the field.
That's Australian football.
Okay?
Yes.
Run around on the field, and look, you just got to deal with them. Stay away from them. All right? You
got to stay in the base with a knife that knows how to
I heard that's the Smite video game.
Yeah. It's kangaroo with knives and the IRS walking around asking your name.
God, what's scarier?
Yeah, I don't know.
IRS?
Yeah. Probably
the kangaroo with a knife. We'll be best friends.
Yeah.
All right. First call in, Adam in Phoenix. Adam, you're the first caller of the week, man. Let's set the tone.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Good, man.
Hey, Adam.
I just want to say first off, I've never tried Scrapple, but I really don't want to.
No one wants to.
Dude, we've started an anti-Scrapple.
It's the food they fed the guys at Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, don't be shocked.
Speak to that.
Don't be shocked.
Sorry, man, but it does not sound like something
you're
I want to
sorry.
put in my body.
Don't apologize to me. That means I get more of it. You kidding me? You
Please
guys
have all of
you
it.
guys go eat the crap. I'll
you can eat that stuff.
I'll eat the scraps.
Yeah, y'all go eat the crap. I'll eat the Scrapple. Said no one ever.
Said me. Anyway.
I like that attitude, David. But I got a question for you, boys. And you talked about it a little bit last week. But can you just tell me, try to get me to understand what everybody is smoking on J.J. McCarthy right now? Because I can't be the only one who saw the Rose Bowl where he threw a pick on the first play and where he missed his wide open receiver. He's got so much room to improve. And I'm not trying to hate on the guy. Like, go get your bread, go get a first round pick. But would you guys really start him over Spencer Rattler or Bo Nix or Michael Penix or any of those guys?
Well, I kind of call it the transfer student rule. It's like in high school, like just speaking from the male perspective, like if a girl transferred in from another school, you would always make her like better looking than what she was for like the first 3 weeks. Like, and then all of a sudden it just kind of went back in the pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's new girl in the mix. All right. Oh man, she's so cool. Like this, that, and the other. It's like J.J. McCarthy. You had all these quarterbacks that everybody talked about before the year, right? Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels because of what he did at the end of last year, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix. I can go down the list. Nobody's really talking about J.J. McCarthy as that upper echelon. Well, all of a sudden, Michigan wins the national championship. J.J. makes a couple big plays. inconsistent at times. I think you'll agree with me there, David, and still needs to develop. But he's the new kid on the block, right? The one everybody's talking about, the new transfer in. I just feel like sometimes that's just like a natural human condition. And remember this: a lot of GMs, it's nothing is sexier than being the guy that made the pick that maybe wasn't the most popular that ended up working out.
Yeah.
That's better than just making a good pick sometimes, because it makes you look like, hey, you're better at so much better at evaluating than everybody else. You were able to find out this guy was going to be an all-pro quarterback when everybody else thought he was just going to be a middle-round selection. Like drafting Tom Brady, like when they did Brock Purdy, those guys look like geniuses, like the Bill Gates with computers.
Adam, you're correct in your observations of the Rose Bowl, and even bigger than that. I mean, I saw every throw J.J. McCarthy made over the past 3 years at Michigan. He does have room to improve. And keep in mind, he hasn't gone top 5 yet. I mean, we see this every year where there's a guy who gets hyped up, gets talked about, and a lot of it's smoke and mirrors so that a team can make a different draft pick. Let's see where he actually goes first. But when you start talking about, is he that much better of a pick in the first round than a Bo Nix or a Spencer Rattler, I see that less. I wouldn't mind a GM saying, you know what, I really believe in J.J. McCarthy and I like him more than Spencer Rattler, or I like him more than Bo Nix right now, because again, those guys have more college experience, right? You'd have to compare J.J. McCarthy. You'd have to compare Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. a couple seasons ago, because J.J. McCarthy is so much younger. The problem that I have is if you're the Denver Broncos right now, or a team like that, if you're going to go make J.J. McCarthy have to start game 1 of his rookie season, that's going to be a little bit bigger issue to me.
Well, the last thing, Adam, it's a great question. Will J.J. McCarthy be this year's version of Will Levis? Remember, all of a sudden, everybody starts gassing him up, gassing him up. He's going to go early, going to go early, going to go early. And then it's wait. You know who else that happened to? Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we see it every year.
You see it every year. There's always one who's the golden boy for a while, and then he's still sitting in that green room while his mom holds him and tells him it's going to be okay. We'll see. But I'm rooting for JJ.
I think JJ can be a first-round pick. I'd be okay with that, but I'd tell you what, he's not a top 5 pick.
I still think he's a kid from the Goonies.
I do not think he's a top 5 pick at all.
Well, I got one more question for you guys. I know you guys were talking some quarterback moves today, but although I just moved to Phoenix, I'm originally from Washington, so I'm a big Seahawks fan. But with those two teams, hometown and where I live now, what do you think the Cardinals and the Seahawks should do in their quarterback position?
Well, I mean, the Cardinals seem pretty stuck on Kyler Murray. So, you know, I don't think you're going to see a ton of movement there. When it comes to the Seahawks,
think he could take them to a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think no. Kyler's good enough to put a year together.
You can surround it. You can make it good enough. Almost disembark.
Kyler's talented.
Can you
really
make a team good enough with the amount of money you're going to have to pay him? Again, theoretically, you can make a team good enough. But look at the San Francisco 49ers right now. They're able to have all those pieces because they got Brock on the rookie deal.
As far as the Seahawks, we were talking about this earlier. This would be the perfect situation for a guy for really every quarterback that's coming to the NFL to be able to sit behind a guy like Geno Smith, watch the way he works, a guy that was highly rated coming out, didn't live up to the hype early, fought through it, and now we've seen the success that he's had. I think Bo Nix would be great there. The next guy. The thing is, though, how old is Geno? That's is Geno on the way out? It feels like he's
they picked 16th. 16th is that perfect spot where and they've built up a lot of equity in Seattle over the past couple years with the way they've drafted.
Well,
I thought they had one of the best
16?
drafted last year.
You think Penix could make it to 16?
Dude, a lot of them. Penix has dropped projection. Like a lot of them have late first.
If you can get Penix,
this isn't just because I'm a Ducks fan, which I am a diehard Ducks fan, but I don't think Seattle has ever had a good offensive line. So I don't think we have a good enough offensive line to keep Penix healthy. I don't think we should get him for that reason.
Fair
because
enough.
I think we're going to draft him and he's just going to get injured the second he starts.
Well, maybe it's a hurry up
Seattle
and wait.
Does not know how to draft at that position.
Yeah. Interesting, Adam. Great call, man.
Hey, Adam, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, boys.
Let's go to Dwayne in Tennessee. Dwayne, how you doing?
Hello.
Dwayne, what's up, brother?
Not much. How's it going, guys?
Going good, man. It's a Monday, but we're cruising.
Yeah. Hey, I missed the first part of the show. Did y'all talk about Tennessee basketball this weekend?
Now we're going to get into. Obviously, we have the SEC tournament starting this Wednesday. We're going to get into that hot and heavy here in the middle of the week. I do want to say, Kentucky, Tennessee had wrapped up the.
Have to win out.
Go ahead.
To be a number one seed.
Yes. No. I don't think that they have to, especially after Arizona lost to USC. Right. I know. I'd be more worried about North Carolina right now than I would be about Arizona being a number one seed if I was Tennessee. And I saw some Tennessee fans. Listen, if I'm not a Tennessee fan, right, per se. I'm always going to call it like I see it. But anybody talking trash to Tennessee after losing at home to Kentucky after they just wrapped up the SEC regular season championship, like that's just a bad look by who's ever doing that. I think Tennessee's a number one seed. I think it should be locked up. I think it should be Purdue. I think it should be Houston. I think it should be UConn. I think it should be Tennessee. And Reed Shepherd and Dillingham and Reeves and Edwards for Kentucky and that big Yugoslavian they got, whatever, Ukrainian, whoever. Like, Kentucky's playing their best basketball right now. Kentucky, right, Tennessee and Kentucky, you always have something to play for. It's at home. You want to win on senior day. But Tennessee had wrapped up the SEC regular season championship. Mm-hmm. You are fighting for that one seed. That Arizona loss to USC was huge. Dalton Connect, and I know he missed some shots at the end, but I mean, this man averaged over 24 points a game in the SEC this year. This isn't 2005 SEC where it's just a bunch of Girl Scout troops in Kentucky, and then maybe Florida or whatever. You are having to go through murderer's row in the SEC basketball. And you can make a claim the SEC is the best conference in basketball this year. I know people say, oh, no, don't say that. Big 12, Kansas 10-8 and a 2 seed. No, I look at what Dalton Connect has done. It's incredible. He's Diet Luka. I think Tennessee's play-by-play guy even retweeted. He's Diet Luka. I'm not saying he is going to be Luka. He is Diet Luka. He just pulls up to the party, right? Gets out the glizzy and gets busy. And whatever phrase you want to use, and the man can drive and score and finish. Reed Shepherd was incredible too. Now that battle between Reed Shepherd and Dalton Connect was insane.
Yeah. I got a quarterback question for you, but you had mentioned Houston. Did y'all see the beatdown they put on Kansas this weekend?
Dude, I watched every second of this basketball game. Houston could not miss.
Well,
could not. Sometimes I watched. It was a late in the shot clock. 1 second on the. You just turned around and shot a fadeaway three for Houston, banked it in. At that point, I was like, "You're done."
Well, that's Houston offensively is not like shed. Houston is a football team that's playing basketball that just happens to play basketball. I'm telling you guys right now, that may be the best defense I've seen on a college basketball team in the last decade that I can remember. I can't remember a better one. It's one thing to play physical, but to play physical and not foul a lot, that takes a lot of discipline. That takes a lot of ability. They don't mess up when they switch. They don't struggle with communication. Boys, the bracket hadn't been released yet. And I know UConn is hotter than Margot Robbie and Sydney Sweeney drinking it out of a swirly straw, but it's going to be really hard for me not to pick Houston to win this thing. I'm just telling you right now.
Houston and UConn are definitely up there.
Whew, man. But, hey, appreciate it, Dwayne. Always fun, man. Go ahead.
Wait. I got one quarterback question. Y'all were talking about rookies coming up and stuff. At what point, I'm a big Cowboys fan, at what point does Dallas need to start looking for somebody to back up Dak?
Hey, man, you got Trey Lance. What are you talking about?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years. Y'all only paid Dak $600 trillion.
If I'm the Cowboys, I'm drafting Spencer Rattler.
To go 12-5 and lose in the second round.
Spencer Rattler?
Probably the second, third.
The Cowboys have the 20.
What are you going to pay him?
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, I mean, look. The Cowboys are stretched so thin right now because there's a cat. Let's be honest, you can't just. It's not an unlimited amount of money. This isn't the Dodgers.
I'm sure the Cowboys can wrangle up the money to pay Spencer Rattler on a rookie contract.
Do you make that move right now with the ancillary pieces that you need to, number one, keep? You got to pay Micah. You got to pay CD. There's not a lot of. We're going to pay him we'll have semi-pro, give him $100 and a washing machine. I don't know, man. Y'all are stuck. Y'all are stuck right now.
Well, it's like what you you've been talking about. I mean, there needs to be somebody to learn under him, and I don't know at what point you're going to say it's Dak's time is up. Because I mean, he's proven, like you've said over and over, that he can ball out in the regular season, but he can't win when it matters. And I don't know.
You know what Dak's like?
Go ahead.
He's like a good cheesesteak that I get in Nashville. He ain't a Philly cheesesteak. There's a difference. There's a big difference. But great call, Dwayne.
Great call, Dwayne.
What's the thing?
Okay.
I really admire, Jake, that you always call it like it is, and you stink at Flamin' Dragon Friday.
He does. Tell him. You make sure he knows that, all right?
Look, I'm going to take, Dwayne, I'm going to take what you said, and I'm going to use it as motivation.
Yeah, he just said,
listen. Go back and watch the video. It is so funny. It's priceless to watch your face when you realize the first time that you said it.
That's amazing. Great.
Here's
great, Dwayne.
As you self-reported, but yet you was talking about that basketball team that wouldn't self-report over the shot.
Well, there's a lot. Look. They don't. I don't get treated like Kansas, all right, or Duke or North Carolina around here, where they just sweep it under the rug, all right. Like especially after what happened the week before, and just the absolute collusion narrative that was built up here.
Oh yeah.
I will promise you this, Dwayne. I will become the Dalton Connect of Flamin' Dragon Fridays.
Yeah.
I am not even going to this Friday. I'm pretending he's not here. The whole show, I'm pretending he's not here.
What's the over and under, Blaine?
For this Friday?
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah, I'm pretending he's not here. The whole
1.5.
I may stay up the whole night and just stare at a picture of Blaine and just throw darts at it.
Good, I love it. That means I'm in his
Can't wait. Appreciate it, Dwayne. All right, let's go to Ethan in Seattle. Ethan, talk to us.
He's sleepless.
Morning, boys. How's it going?
What's up?
Morning.
So I meant to call on Friday, but I actually haven't been able to call for a while. But
Ethan, I will try and find it in my heart to forgive you someday, but right now I'm just not ready.
Well, I'll try to bring that Friday energy because, first of all, shout out FitBod. I haven't been repping 225 this easy in years.
Whoa! Wow. Look at that. Sponsor play?
Brother.
The sponsor
Let's go kill a bear with our hands.
Golly, Ethan. God, please, just walk outside and just kill an animal.
And maybe I did go out on a date with that girl, and maybe she is pretty cute. So life's going pretty good over here.
Wow. Ethan.
Nebraska finishes the regular season. Sorry, cover your ears, David. At Michigan with
destroyed them.
Killed them.
Destroyed them.
Oh, don't worry. Juwan Howard will keep his job if that's what you were worried about.
Dude, Tamanaga, assassin. I'm surprised when I turned on Shogun the other day, I didn't see him.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
The reports immediately were Juwan Howard will likely get another year at Michigan. That's what immediately.
They'll just keep saying that.
Yeah.
But no, dude, y'all are good. Like, y'all are good. You know who my favorite player in y'all's team is?
Tamanaga.
Little outside of Tamanaga is Hoiberg's son, right? He just
that guy
is
so scrappy.
So scrappy, makes the right decision 100% of the time. He can probably coach the team right now. But Hoiberg saved his ass, Ethan. He had to have it this year. And Wilcher and Alec, the guy who played, what was he, from Omaha North, that went and played somewhere else and came back. I just love the makeup of this team. I hope they make a decent run unless they play Auburn, and then I hope they lose by 1,000.
Well, that's the thing. I think with the way that this team plays, I feel like our ceiling is pretty high, but our floor is also pretty low. Like, we could be bounced first round, but we could also make a Sweet 16 run. Right now, I'm just happy that we made the tournament. Like, we've never been good. We're 0-7 in the tournament all time. So this
y'all have never won an NCAA tournament game?
I didn't know that. There's a fun fact.
Fun fact. Nebraska is the only D1 program that has never had a Division I win in the tournament.
Are you kidding me? That's a fun fact.
Do I gotta pick them though? That stuff worries me.
Come on, baby. This is the year.
I just want to make it to the round of 32. Like, I would love a deeper run, but I would be over the moon with just a round of 32.
As an Auburn fan, you know how much I feel you on that.
Just need one win, coach.
I used to hope to God we'd make the NIT.
Is Auburn Nebraska Spider-Man, Jeff?
No, Auburn's been more relevant in football lately.
I know, but I feel like this is what Auburn used to feel like.
I can see the connection.
Auburn used to feel like Nebraska.
I can feel that connection.
Yeah.
I like that, Ethan. Ethan's fit. He's dating the girl of his dreams. Nebraska's made the NCAA tournament. If there's ever time to buy a lotto ticket, brother, it's now.
Live that best life, man.
I love it.
Thanks, Ethan.
It is, man. Hey,
Keep it up.
Call in next week when the tournament starts, all right? Or when the conference tournament starts. Appreciate it, man. All right, let's go to Veronica in Illinois. Veronica, what's up?
Hi, I'm a senior in high school, and I'm writing my capstone, which is basically like a 20-page paper.
Okay.
And I'm writing it about sports and their impact on society.
Okay.
Specifically how it illuminates others' human dignity and builds character.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering how sports have changed your lives for the better, and how you think they're good for society.
First off, Veronica, you're about to make an A plus on this paper. I'm rooting for you. There's multiple things that sports has provided. I mean, in our household, it was a bonding experience with us and our parents. That's what we did. We'd watch games. We'd go to games. We'd talk about games. It kind of kept it interesting, and we weren't just sitting in my room playing video games and with no interaction. What I think it teaches you is, and not there's individual sports. It teaches you work ethic, right? Punctuality. Yeah. My wife's always like, "You're so weird about being on time." I'm like, "Well, my whole life has been structured to the point of where I can't be late for this, and so work ethic, punctuality. But the thing I think it helps people with the most, from a team sports aspect, is it teaches you how to work together with other people to accomplish a goal, especially one that is not achieved overnight. Like, you see all these people celebrating, these people crying after winning championships with their team. It's because you put in so much and you all sacrifice stuff to be able to work together and to reach a goal. And there's a reason that so many CEOs and branch managers and business leaders say hiring athletes is always the best hire they make, because they know not only about the team aspect, but how to operate on a team, how to understand your role and play it, and pick people up when you need to pick them up. Get on people sometimes as a leader when you need to get on them. It is the closest thing to real life, right, that you're going to get outside of what activity it is.
Yeah, I love that answer. That was going to be my answer exactly.
That's about the best way
The
to
discipline and the punctuality is stuff you should definitely mention in there. But the team aspect of it, like knowing how to manage those relationships, especially like after something doesn't go well, because there are physical consequences to not only your mistakes, but your brother's mistakes
For
too.
sure.
I mean, if the left tackle misses a block and you end up breaking your leg for that, you still go to school with this guy. He's still your brother. He may still be your best friend. He may still be your roommate in college. How do you navigate all those relationships? It's a microcosm for how we deal with stuff in society.
I agree. Good leaders, communication, empathy. You learn how to listen to other people's strengths. You learn how to listen to other people's weaknesses, and you go through that together, the memories that get made. You learn how to get up when you get knocked down. You learn how to do things when things aren't going right, because in life they won't be. You make memories, you make friendships with people you would have never thought you'd be friends with. Doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter.
That's a great point.
Right. It's two humans together fighting for one goal. And there's nothing almost cooler than that. So that's what sports kind of taught me.
Yep.
Hey, Veronica, can you call back in and let us know how you did on the paper?
Yeah, and if you didn't do good, let us know your teacher's name and address. Thank you.
Well, there'll be a dragon showing up.
Thank you for listening.
Appreciate it, Veronica.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, it's 7:52, but Cole in Atlanta, you're the last caller of the day. Let's go. We got 30 seconds for you.
Hey, up tempo, let's go.
All right, so I'll make it quick. Wondering if y'all saw the Ireland-England match, because it was awesome.
Talking about rugby?
We're talking about rugby. About rugby. So it was back and forth the entire game. Clock was in the red. England makes a drop goal. Amazing. And here's the thing. You watch that drop goal, you think it's easy, and I can guarantee every NFL kicker's like, oh, I could do that. But here's what would happen. They'd catch that rugby ball, and all of a sudden they're thinking what they wish their girl was saying out loud. This is big.
Cole, you had to breathe in 30 seconds, buddy. You did. Now, hopefully she's not saying it was only 30 seconds. That's another thing for you.
If anybody was wondering, hey, how's the Booster Club doing? Just keep in mind, we have rugby fans in Atlanta.
What does
Georgia.
the red mean?
It's like, is that stoppage time?
It's called like stoppage time in soccer?
Yeah. Right, correct. So it's 2 40-minute halves. It's after the 80 minutes, but in order for the game to end, the ball has to go out of bounds, what's called into touch, or there has to be a penalty. So essentially, it was in overtime. So, and one last thing, you all were saying you ought to see a match in July in San Diego State Stadium. There's going to be the New Zealand All Blacks versus Fiji. It will probably be the best rugby match ever played on American soil. They're trying to gauge how the American market's going to handle 2031, when the U.S. hosts the Rugby World Cup.
I love it. You know, I thought he was
Crane and Company needs to make.
I thought he was gonna make the joke like our dad used to make all the time. He's like, "Hey, you want to see a match?" Yeah. It's like my ass in your face. Like I thought that joke was coming from Cole there.
Well, now you got a joke for the future, Cole.
Appreciate it, Cole.
There we go, Thanks, buddy. All right, hey guys, I think we're at 14 units as a group this month, which is pretty good when 5 people are betting. Obviously, Crane and Co. Pick Tracker ending up here, which we can fix maybe with that new Bet Online board that rumor has it maybe coming. So tonight, got some more great tournament basketball. Gonzaga. All right, let's get together. Freeway Jared, what's up, my friend?
Do it.
Give me the Zags -8 at home against not at home, but against San Francisco. I believe this conference tournament should be. And then Stony Brook, not just the Brook, but the Stony Brook and Hofstra over 40. And you know, Blaine, Hofstra, they have it. All right, what do you got, Dave?
How about this Bet Buds with Gonzaga? I'll take a -8, -110. Then go ahead and give me James Madison -6.5, -110.
All right, let's keep it having a pretty solid start so far. 35-10 on the month.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
We're going to go Stony Brook +5.5. Stony Baloney, maybe. All right, then give me Montana State. I want everybody to point out, if you can't see the board, all right, Montana State +6.5. That's going off at -110. I don't know what Jake did to that one on -110, but what terrible handwriting. Let's
really?
Make fun of his intelligence.
Why don't we get you up
Let's all make fun of his intelligence
Why don't we
together.
get,
idiot, dumb, stupid.
Why don't we get you up here? It looks like one of the people writing in the 51st States movie when they go to the clinic where the people can't remember every 30 seconds. Here's what I got.
What'd you say?
Huh?
That's pretty good.
That was good. Ace, he's going to take Charleston -4.5. That's at -110. And then, it always falls off the rails at the end. Weber State, that's a B, not an N, -6.5 at -110.
All right. Let's get some donations here.
We're having fun.
$5 donation from Steve's Trading Card Frenzy.
Stevie.
Jake, you're in trouble.
Oh, God, I keep forgetting about this.
Jake, I can't get through on the phone. This is your 4-week reminder. 4 weeks.
4-week reminder?
4 weeks.
All right.
GoFundMe. I won't believe you're donating.
All right, I got it.
Do it on camera.
I got it. Read. I need you to do this, Reed, so I don't forget. And by the way, best of the week. Also, my wife made baked ribs. They were fantastic.
Baked ribs.
Baked ribs. Just want to make sure.
I heard they make it better in France.
I was actually shocked they weren't. They were better in mine.
Go to Ryan Gate with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Yeah, Philly.
Rewatched Lady Ballers over the weekend. And just want to remind you, winners are just losers who win.
Yes,
That's
sir.
exactly right.
Except the Braves, they're just losers.
Here we go. I knew you couldn't just let it go.
All right, let's go to F3 Shake and Bake, $5 donation. Y'all know that dude paid Drake to be in the dog costume. The only question is, just like in Lady Ballers,
how much? I love that.
All right, let's go to, and I might be all of them. I'm not positive. We got the one from Q-Smo Jimbo, 3-peating the college football with Drake. Justin Alfiero, $2 donation. Barkley to the Texans, Saquon would be an absolute problem.
CJ and Saquon, I'm a-looking and I'm a-liking.
All right, poll.
God,
that was funny. Let's get to, is Mac Jones a bust? Yes?
I want to say no. I want to say no 55%.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I kind of want to say yes. There's something about that cat I just don't like, dog.
That he went to Alabama?
No, I don't know. I just felt like I knew that guy. Like, didn't his dad invent, like, fruit roll-ups or something?
No.
Yeah, he did.
Or, like, Fruit Loops or Twizzlers?
Yes, 68%. No, 32%. Remember, Mac Jones was a first.
That's your boy. I know y'all were tight with
We met once.
Yeah.
So we're best.
Y'all are besties.
I saw two things quickly. I saw somebody post a video of Mac Jones getting chosen in the draft and doing his walkout. You know how like everybody made fun of him because he walks so goofy, and people are saying that's what's Mac Jones walking to get Trevor Lawrence a bagel.
Yeah.
And another one, apparently I missed. Charles, I didn't miss this donation. You just donated a little bit.
Charles, he missed it.
Ended. Charles, I'll say this from Friday, $5 donation. We just found out why Jake commentates and doesn't coach. Chokes in the fourth. He's talking about you dropping Flaming Dragon.
I tell you what, this Friday, y'all, hell's coming. Y'all better strap in. I may go mute.
I'm coming.
I may go Helen Keller.
Not be real.
I don't believe it. You're real.
Oh, the overhead.
No.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like, blind.
Justine, can I face my chair to David? Like, could we be able to do? I mean, we got this camera right here.
Thank you, Justine.
I'll think about it, but probably not.
Well, we can listen. Sometimes you got to change the offense. If you want to score, just ask Iowa. All right, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100 trillion subscribers by the end of this week. So just make sure you hit that subscribe button and then go grab some merch. Shout out to our sponsors, betonline.ag and Delete Me, and apparently Fitbod, because now Ethan's super jacked.
Keep it up,
we need to clip that. We need to clip that and send it to Fitbod. It's working. It's working. So we appreciate you guys. And like the college basketball regular season, we're going.
Oh, yeah. It's hot.
He's automatic.
That one had some curvature.
They changed the weight of the
gone.
cards.
Yeah, well, they had to. I was
the Tom Brady.